Thank you. Hi, welcome.
Welcome everyone. We will go ahead and get started with in-person questions here first with Elena.
In-person questions?
Hey, how's it going, Elena?
Good, how are you?
Good. Just wanted to ask, how does it feel to be coming into the season, just kind of feeling like yourself physically?
Incredible. Last season was certainly a frustrating one, coming in and just not feeling like I was where I needed to be. And this year, it's been a whole long time of figuring out what my body needs, a whole different way of moving, and just having the right team behind me to keep me on court and to also keep me kind of on the right page of yeah, you're feeling great, but this has got to be the bump up, or we got to look at the entire season and know the importance of being ready to peak at the right time. So just knowing that it's a whole different year, I feel so much better. I'm not sitting here needing to stand up because I'm in pain. That's the biggest thing.
Last year, just having the opportunity to mainly observe, what are some things you keep in the back of your mind about what's going to transpire on court?
The biggest thing was kind of a reset of our locker room and just getting a group of people together that we'd come to work, we'd have joy every day, we would have empathy for one another, and we'd want to compete every single day together and do it for the person next to you. That's what made 2019 so special, and it's something that we kind of got away from. So I do feel that in this group. I feel it every time we're together. We find so much joy in one another, and we enjoy competing too. So I think it's going to be a great year.
With all the adversity you guys have had to go through with COVID and injuries and everything with this team over the past couple of years since that championship, how special is it going to be? Talk about the excitement of it. What do you think that moment's going to be like? First game, May 6th, to take the court.
It'll be great. It's going to be so exciting for us, for our fans, for everybody who's been involved in this organization, because we have a really special group. We have a group that's been through a lot and has somehow continued to fight and continue to better ourselves and even use off season to get better. So I think it's going to be a great celebration, and obviously we'll be ready to compete.
For you personally, I know you've had so many peaks in your career, and has this past couple of years kind of added a little bit more fuel for you to have some more motivation to go out and accomplish even more now?
Yeah, this has definitely been the toughest 2 years in my career. So to be able to have another chance at it and to know the amount of time and work I've put into it is exciting, that I can finally be back out there and competing alongside my teammates. So I'm excited. It's a newfound me, a newfound joy of the game, knowing that this game was nearly taken from me and could be at any point. That's what's so crazy about playing a sport and aging and all that. You never know what's ahead or what tomorrow could bring. So the importance of enjoying today and taking every little thing you can out of this day is something I can hopefully bring to my teammates as well and share that with them.
Sorry, one more for me here. Coach said on draft night to not look at the last 2 years for this team, and this team is ready to go right back out and compete for a championship. What are your thoughts on that, and how do you feel, as a team leader about a statement like that?
Yeah, I mean, of course, that's the reason I put this uniform on. I wouldn't have gone through what I went through in the past 2 years if I wasn't coming out here to compete for a championship. I don't just do this for the paycheck or do this for the heck of it. I want to win. That's really the only thing I care about at this point. And obviously enjoying the time and journey with my team, but I really only care about the winning.
Thank you.
Basketball-wise, what excites you about this roster?
We're deep, and that was something we struggled with, not having the same depth in prior years. So the excitement of knowing the amount of people that can come off the bench and bring so much to this team, and any night it could be somebody different. So we're deep. We've got some youth, but we also have some age. We've got some faces that have been here before that left us for a little bit and are back. So yeah, this is gonna be a great year, a great team too.
Are you excited with it being the Are you excited with it being the Mystics' 25th anniversary and to be a part of a team that's been so well established and to continue the legacy that was built by the woman that has been behind you?
Oh, of course. Yeah, to know that we're in our 25th season with this organization who are obviously top notch and do it differently than other organizations is something that's obviously exciting and a reason I came here, and to continue to compete and do the most we can for this organization and lift each other up. That's huge. So I'm excited about this year.
Elena, a question for you personally. What are some of the goals you have for yourself for this final season?
To be on court, to be smart in the way I come back, and I think the fun part is I've learned so much about my body and the way I move now, and I think I'll be able to play in different ways and exploit different parts of my game and other people's games. So I feel like I've got a whole different way about me and the way I move, but also a whole different understanding of things. So it's going to be fun to explore those.
And lastly, when you look at your roster from a defensive perspective,
Yeah.
you just talk about what you expect this year as well.
Yeah, I mean, defensively, we are scary. It's going to be so much fun. When you have a team that can, shut other teams down, that really has you go into a game with a different confidence. I don't think we've ever had a team that has this much of a ceiling, or no ceiling, defensively. And then we can score the ball too. Like, I think people forget about that. So to have both of those weapons is pretty exciting for me.
Elena, have you seen Ariel grow since your last full season?
Ariel already came in like just so advanced and mature, but she still continues to show a different maturity. She's become more vocal, and that's really exciting to see. I think USA basketball and competing and winning a gold brought her a whole different confidence that I'm not even sure she's aware of, but she just has it. But Little A, she's awesome. I still call her Little A. I don't know if she has a problem with that, but actually I have asked her. She's all right that I still call her Little A. But she is someone who has developed her game, somehow developed herself even as a person when she's already been years ahead of other rookies in that way. But she's just she's so cool. I love her.
And you have another 6'5" lady on the roster now.
I think she's 6'6".
Is she taller than you?
Yes. And I don't know if it's through my back stuff, I'm getting smaller, maybe I'm shrinking a little. But when I first met her, I was like, okay, I'm going to either have to change my height or you're going to have to change your height on the roster because you are tall. She looks great. I am so excited.
Initial interactions been what do you expect from Shakira? Obviously, it's her first year.
Yeah, Shakira's awesome. She's got an energy and a way about her that it's going to be great for the team. She's obviously a phenomenal player, and I think the exciting thing is she wants to continue to develop, and she wants to be more of a stretch post as well. So, I'm happy to bring her under my wing and help her with some of that. So I think it's going to be an awesome year for her. She's someone who wants to compete. She wants to get better. She wants to put the time in. And that's really all you can ask for.
All right, we'll go ahead and switch over to Zoom, and we'll go to Alexa.
Hi, Elena. Great to see you.
Hey, good to see
you
you.
mentioned, thank you. You mentioned that you learned a lot about your body and the way that you move is even different than last year or previous years. How would you describe that? I mean, we haven't been able to really see you play in the offseason, obviously. So what did you learn about yourself through this past offseason, and what made the difference in trying to learn more about your body and where you're at now?
Yeah, so everything that I've done in the weight room has even completely different and been guided by my trainer here. But the importance of my base, which is my feet, and the way my feet are interacting with the ground and the way I'm able to push. And I feel like my legs have gotten even noticeably bigger, but so much stronger. So being able to use that explosiveness through my legs and stop putting all the pressure on my back. I used to be a top mover, which obviously puts a lot of pressure on your spine. Now I'm moving through the floor through my feet and my base. So it's helped me to be able to have different options on the court, find different angles, and give me more options.
Thank you.
Howard?
Elena, good morning.
Morning.
Good to see you. I'm curious, you've obviously held yourself to such a high standard and put together such significantly high standards throughout your career in terms of stats, in terms of numbers, in terms of even just minutes on the floor. And you've talked about understanding your body in a different way. I just wonder, have you changed that thinking in terms of how often you're out on the court? Have you talked to Mike about it? So what's your approach for that part of your game?
Yeah, we've already started to meet and try to discuss like what it's going to look like and what my playing is going to look like, and also how much sitting I'll be doing, because that's also not great. I rather be moving and stay warm and find ways to keep my hips loose, and so those are all things we're going to explore even through practice, where we're going to practice literally I'm on for 4 minutes, and then what am I doing in the time that I'm off, and what's that look like, and what do we have to make sure games look like for me? What space do I need to continue to move instead of just sitting on the bench? So all these things we've discussed, we'll have many discussions over it, but that's what's so great about this group. Like, we want to prepare, and we're going to sit out and look at the entire season and look at moments where, hey, maybe that's a crazy travel that I shouldn't partake in, or maybe there's too many games packed into this week and we should figure this out. So keeping me straight on that too, where obviously I'm a competitor. I want to play every single game. I want to play as many minutes as I can, but having people in my corner who can help put together the best season possible for me to be, the best I can at the right time, and the rest of the team to be peaking at the right time.
And then just the other side of that is this period of time where you've played, effectively 3 games in a couple of years is the most time you've had away from basketball on the court, I would guess, since, the first year of college.
Yeah.
And this is from an emotional perspective, from an intellectual perspective. I'm just wondering what you feel like you've taken away from that. Has it been different? And do you feel like there are specific things that you have locked onto in terms of the way you think about the game over this period of time?
Yeah, it's different. But I think with age, with knowledge, with finding different ways to stay involved in the game mentally, I feel like I'm able to find my rhythm in different ways. And I challenge that rhythm in the weight room. I challenge it in the way I practice. So I think when I was younger, I needed a bunch of games. I needed to be playing all the time to feel my rhythm, to feel efficient. Now I've gotten smarter, I'd hope. I have a whole different awareness for myself, but also the game, and ways that I can, exploit other teams, or ways that I can impact my teammates without always having to be out there and putting my body on the line. So I think I've learned so much and been an observer for so long that now that I can get into it and play, I've got a whole different way of thinking about things.
Thanks, Elena.
Jen?
Hey, Elena, always good to see you in uniform. Coach T mentioned on draft night that he thought that you and Alicia Clark were the best at bringing the team together and encouraging bonding, and that they really missed that with you guys both out and not traveling last year. And so I'm just curious, number one, how you personally go about that team bonding, and then number two, if you felt like you and Alicia were able to develop a rapport last year that is going to translate on the court this year.
Yeah, I actually said to AC the other day, I was like, I didn't know how much I needed you in my life, and now that you're here, we're forever. She's like, we're like peanut butter and jelly. Like, she's just the perfect piece that I've needed. And yes, through this off season and what we've both gone through, with like big surgeries and trying to, figure out our bodies, and having days where we're frustrated or days where things are going well, but having each other to support one another and know like we're both going through kind of the same thing has been huge. And I think obviously she's a phenomenal leader. She's incredible on the defensive end. I'm so excited to learn from her in that aspect, but just to have someone to lead with me. And obviously we've got a ton of great leaders on this team: Tosh, Ariel, Tiana's back. So we just have a really great group that any day anybody can lead at any time or step up at any time. But she's pretty awesome. And like I said, I had no idea how much I needed her until she came into my life.
All right, we'll go ahead and finish up with Matt Paris.
Hi, Elena. Just was kind of curious, going back to the stuff about your body. You talked about the way you moved. Is that just more so like with how you attack rehab and that sort of thing, or do you mean like actually on the court, the way you try and post up, for example? Like, is that different? Like, how do you expect it on the actual court to affect your day?
Yeah, it's every aspect of life, like movement. Getting out of my bed in the morning, what my feet feel like on the ground, walking my dogs, to being on the basketball court. How can I attack this ankle? What push do I need out of my foot to get me onto this foot? So literally everything I do in a day, it's all in support of movement and my base. I don't like separate it anymore where it's like basketball, this, and this. Like the way we move in life should always be supporting, from below up in a healthy way. And I think it's something I never had any type of this awareness, and I'm grateful for especially the head trainer here who works with the Wizards, who's been my like guru throughout this. But yeah, it's all walks of life. I'm constantly thinking about my movement and how that can support my body.
Yeah, that doesn't sound easy at all, just because you're used to walking a certain way your whole life. So what was that process like, trying to retrain yourself?
If it was easy, we'd all do it. I think that's what I like about this challenge, is knowing that I have the mental capacity and the will to do it. Because if I didn't, I think I'd be done.